Greetings folks, Steve here, and right now I am heading out to I-30 dragway. I've got Ursula, the Lexus, with me, and we are going to I-30 to, of course, kind of get into our usual shenanigans of just testing the car. We do have a much bigger intercooler now and larger intercooler pipes. We went from a 2.5-inch intercooler pipe to a 3-inch and a much bigger intercooler. So we're definitely expecting some pretty noticeable gains there, especially in our intake air temps, but also just overall performance. We're sucking through a bigger straw now, so I expect we're gonna get a pretty good outcome. I made a quick rip next to the shop before I put the car on the trailer and immediately went to boost cut. So that's a good sign. That clearly means we opened some stuff up. So we're gonna have to take a few clicks off of the boost regulator, try to get that under control. I think I have boost cut set to like 25. And we're targeting like 21, give or take. A little over 20 is what we've been running. So we're gonna have to dial it down a little bit. I'm not really ready to run 25, but also because we are actually entering a race event tonight, just like a little thing they're throwing together at I-30 for cars under 500 horsepower. So it's a street car event, no slicks allowed, no electronics, which means we're going to have to disable or not use the trans brake. So no trans brake, no two-step, but I checked and nitrous is okay. Even if you like dual power adder, there's not a problem or whatever. So since we're on drag radials and we got a whole car that's a street car, we are going to enter this class. I think the Lexus probably makes somewhere around 500 horsepower. I have no way of knowing that really, except just I kind of like fuel usage, basically duty cycle that we're using with the injectors that we're using. It's going to be somewhere close to 500. They don't have a dyno on scene, and they don't have any scales at this track. So they have a race master of sorts who's going to basically be the judge, and he's going to decide how much power everyone's making. I think it's going to be a lot like, kind of handled like index racing. It's basically a person's judgment on the power the car makes. Car has to be over 2,800 pounds, which is why we're not bringing the Z. Initially, we were going to bring the Z2, but it's not heavy enough, and we couldn't. It's not even close. Like, no one's going to look at the Z and be like, "Oh, that's over 2,800." Like, not a chance. So, just the Lexus tonight. I'm heading that way. Matt's not far behind me, and once we get to the track, we'll get it set up. Try to get our boost cut under control. Driver's meeting is in about 2 hours. We'll see you when we get there, and we'll see how this all unfolds. All right, so I got the Lexus in the staging lanes now. There's actually a line here. It's a pretty busy night. I've got to make a quick pass on this to see, first of all, how it's going to leave without the trans brake using the nitrous. We've never done that before. I'm really just going to leave the nitrous settings alone, so as soon as the RPM get to the spot, it starts spraying, and we should be able to do pretty good just coming off the foot brake. Obviously going to lose a little bit in the 60 foot, but I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. I expect it's going to run probably a mid-7, but we have to get this boost cut thing under control. I just backed off the boost regulator as much as it'll go, which really should only be a couple pounds. So I'm a little worried we're going to be boost cutting, even on gate. I might have to tweak the boost cut, but I really don't want to because I don't want to run very much boost. All right, so we're about to make our first attempt at leaving off the foot brake. Spray is going to come on at 2,000 and wide open throttle. So we should get into power just fine. Damn. That's not good. Boost cut like a mother. It's not good. I got the boost regulator turned all the way down and we still boost cut like crazy. Oh man. I did not expect that upgrading the intercooler and the pipes would mean that we just have to deal with more boost. Not ready for that. Well, let's take a look at the data log and see what we can do. I mean, all I can really think to do is remove the boost regulator completely and just go straight to gate, but I don't think that's going to work. So really the only alternative besides that is to open the gate up and take out one of the gate springs. And that might be what we have to do. Alright, so there's our gate. making too much steam, so we're gonna take this little spring out. All right, so we pulled out the lighter of the two springs, so it should be on like, really like a 10 or 12 pound gate now. Another one. So hopefully that, just letting that, letting the wastegate open up a little sooner will help us keep things under control, because they are not under control.
The pipes are working too good.
We worked too well. Goddamn racers. That's what that guy's thinking right now.
You dumb motherfuckers in your goddamn jack car.
Alright, here's our next attempt. That time we did not hit boost cut, baby. That's good. All right, so I don't know. We'll slow, obviously. We didn't have nearly enough boost, but now we can we'll kind of be able to gauge what kind of time it's gonna run. We'll feed a little bit more into it. We're back in control, baby. Just kind of start feeding some power to it. And man, honestly, I think we're gonna need to make one more pass before we're anywhere near ready to try to make a 500 horsepower run. Okay, so here's the situation. We were not running enough boost on that pass. We ran a 7.9, which is not going to be fast enough to do this, but probably like 7.4, I imagine, is as fast as...
The three cars that followed you were like 7.8, almost 9 flat, and something else that was slow.
We have no idea what they're going to draw the line at, and I think anything faster than like a 7.4 is going to probably be...
Put us up there.
Put us too fast. So,
they're going to draw the line.
Well, they have to estimate 500 horsepower. So if we're too fast and they estimate us too high, we might get kicked for that alone.
Do we have to do like a qualifying run and shit?
I assume so, but we'll find out at the driver meeting. I assume everyone makes one pass. They take that number and they apply it towards what your number is, like an index. Okay. But
and then it's just heads up after that.
So right now what we're dealing with is we didn't run enough boost there. It was averaging about like 13 to 15. It was real dynamic though. And at the very end, it spiked up to like 22 at the top of third gear. So
and just keep in mind, we turned the wastegate all the way off, so we're not really sure how many clicks equal how many pounds. So coming up.
So I just clicked it 16 times, 4 pounds that should have added. So that should put us.
You did just your driver meeting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at 9. So yeah, so we should be running somewhere around like 18 psi if everything works like it should, unless that big spike at the end.
Which it did just spike to 22, but we did turn the boost cut up to 27 just to try to help alleviate that spike a little bit. Things are acting way weirder now that we don't have like the setup we've been used to running for the last couple months, so we're just gonna have to turn it up and send it and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not out of style for us.
No, a 7.9 really isn't bad for how soft we're leaving. That was
I just mean that's not atypical for us to just fucking turn it up a little bit and send it. You know?
That was a 2-second 60 foot.
But we haven't even done a qualifying yet, so I mean, if we do good in qualifying, then we're set.
Okay. All right, well, that's the plan. We're gonna leave it alone. We talked about maybe making one more pass and going into it with a hot car, but we're gonna forego that. Okay. We're gonna let it cool, send it like we have it, and hope for the best. So at the driver's meeting, they went over all the basic rules, pretty standard stuff here. But one of the things that is very important to note is that multiple times in this conversation, they announced that if you double bulb before your opponent gets single bulbed in, gets pre-staged, that's an automatic disqualification. They said it over and over again. It was abundantly clear that that's the rule. All right, so new development. We can use the trans brake.
Huge for us.
That's a big deal for us. And what he said, I don't know. He really didn't lay the law down.
He basically was just saying that like anything that helps you off the line is okay, but anything that helps limit your ET to like, you know, like in an index class or whatever is not allowed. So.
Yeah, they don't want it to turn into like some laser beam accurate index style shit. They
Which
just,
is kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
like
little
that.
different. You know, it's going to be fun. It's just going to, everybody's going to get out.
yeah. We're going to be able to compete now.
And yeah, it's going to be a good time.
So we ought to be able to.
So this will be a really good warm-up for getting ready for import face-off, just because it's going to get us a little bit of time to run some lower, just some lower boost and stuff to get used to the new piping and everything, so we can kind of ease into things and get it tuned up.
Who knows if it's even really lower at this point? We're going to find out on this pass.
Well, last pass went good. No boost cut last pass, so we'll see.
It's really fun just getting acclimated with like drivers meetings. Like we've never done this before, honestly. Like these little.
Only in IFO.
Yeah, IFO is really the only thing we've ever competed in before. Actually, it literally is. So we're gonna get the car ready to go. They're gonna run the 400 horsepower class first, and then
30, and then
we're gonna go up, and we'll see what old Ursula's gonna do. And I already think these guys are gonna be way faster than 500 horsepower. I just got a feeling that's where we're gonna end up.
Yeah.
Especially since they are allowing trans brake. That's bad for us also at the same time as being good.
Yeah.
Because now everybody else is getting the same advantage.
Yeah, but you know, that question was asked kind of quietly, so hopefully.
I know, but then I was like, hey, so trans brake's okay? And the guy turns around and he's like, yeah, it's okay. So,
trans brakes. Well, you got the one without the parachute on the back, so.
Let's go.
All right, first race in the 500 class.
oh, I think he just got DQ'd. I think he just got DQ'd because he four-lit me. We might have gotten lucky if they enforced any freaking rules. He should get DQ'd. That should put us in the next round. He beat me in the race. Car felt great. He beat me in the race, but he was not supposed to four-bold me. I'm gonna call his ass out on that too.
Made the race up, got put out first round.
No, that has nothing to do with it. I don't give a fucking hell. I don't give a damn, dude. And no, the two-step was okay because we went over to the deal. That has nothing to do with it.
Alright, so get this shit. So the guy we're racing double bulbed on me when we pulled up to the staging lanes. That was explicitly clear that that is against the rules.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mike thought we were real cool until the rules came into play.
It's a stupid rule, okay? I don't really understand it, but that was the rule. It was
God
said
damn it, we
over
followed it,
and
okay?
over again, and we followed it. They did not, and we had to like argue with people to get it passed. Like the guy's faster than us. It's a faster car, but it's limited to 500 horsepower, and there's rules.
Just solo.
Yeah, we're a bye. You think I should
Give it the gun, see what it does. Don't need Might turn it up a little too much.
Well, the good thing I wasn't racing anyone because I went totally stupid on the buttons. But that's okay, I set it up. Man, I don't know what times we're running. Man, I have no idea. The car's ripping, man. Thank God I had a data log because I was spacing out, man. I don't know what happened. I got to be on my P's and Q's on the next one if we want a chance. So here's the deal. We had to fight to get our next round because none of the officials are even paying attention to their own rule. Okay, the rule is if you go 4 bulbs before the other guy goes 2, you're DQ'd on the spot. That's the rule. I didn't make the effing rule. I think it's a stupid rule. The guy who's faster won, but that's not what we're doing here, okay? So we're like, okay, well, the guy 4-bulbed, and they're like, oh, well, they were trying to hold it against us that we went through the beams during the burnout. Anyway, whole bunch of like typical fucking street outlaw style drama. and we got the rolling because Matt luckily had film, and you can see the guy freaking double bolt.
All right, baby, we're in the finals. Took a lot of debacles to get here, but here we are.
Damn, I blew it. So the reason I failed there and lost that race is because the trans brake malfunctioned. Trans brake was holding, I was trying to bump in, and it wouldn't bump. I was hitting it, and then it finally tried to bump, but the brake stuck, and it pushed me through the beams, and that was it. So it was kind of controversial about the trans brake in general. They decided to allow it, and that's what cost us. Trans brake malfunction. It's too hot, and this solenoid, it's not even working right now. The training gets too hot and it starts to stick. That's what I'm figuring out. Damn, that sucks. Never even had a chance. It's all right. We didn't deserve to win, honestly. I mean, we were outperformed in the first one and won by a technicality. Then we got lucky and got a bye, and that guy actually has beat people, I guess. I think so. I didn't watch him, but he's the guy who should have won. He was asking if I wanted to run again just for fun, and I told him, yeah, but dude, I'm too hot. We're too hot. That's the whole problem. Trans brake malfunction. So like, the very thing that we thought was gonna give us an edge is what caused us to fail.
So just saying you straight into first, basically?
Well, it worked. It was holding. But I was hitting the bump button and it wasn't bumping. And so I'm like, okay, it's stuck. So I'm just hitting it. And then when it finally worked, it let me roll all the way through the beams. It wasn't full on first gear. Like the valve gets stuck. Like right now, listen.
You think it was just too much nitrous?
I'm pushing the button.
Push through.
No, it has nothing to do with power and everything to do with the solenoid. Like I'm pushing it right now.
Nothing's
it's not even clicking. It was the controversial thing that we thought was gonna be saving grace for us, and it malfunction. They didn't let me cool down, dude. We're too hot. I bet if you get down there and touch it right now, you can free it up and it'll start working.
Do you think that like upgrading the solenoid will help or something?
Yeah, I mean, it is a cheap thing. All it was heat. We were hot. Dude, we just made a pass and they made us. Do you think
that if we would have checked the trans brake before and freed it up, that it would have worked on the stage?
I don't think so, because it came on just fine. Well, that's going to do it for tonight. Honestly, it was a pretty fun evening, even though there was a lot of
debacles,
a lot of headache,
a lot of hang-ups,
just screw ups.
Just over technical shit. But
I screwed up on the bye run staging, and then
screwed up in the final.
The trans brake messed up on the next run, which was the finals, which we really didn't deserve to be in anyway because we were beaten in the first, except for a technicality, and so it was kind of a messy night. But it was fun to get acclimated with the scene. The important thing here, actually, is not anything about this stupid event, but that we can really see the yielded gains of our changes, which is substantial. Like the fact that on wastegate, where we used to make 15 PSI, it's hitting 25 PSI with all the same settings except the piping and the intercooler. So
perfect.
We opened things up big
That's
time.
Exactly what we wanted.
And man, I just know that when the car's rested, I mean, it's not just piping hot, and we can get set up and we get our boost controller, we're still, even on that last pass I just ran, it was still like 16, 17 PSI.
Yeah.
When we get it back to 21 PSI and holding, this car is going to be in the sixes with ease,
no doubt.
and it's going to just keep going.
It's going to start smoking the Z.
Yeah, for sure. It's just going to keep going.
We might have to line them up again soon.
But this was a fun event. I hope they do it again soon, and next time we're going to sign up for the 400 class.
We learned our lesson.
And try to run some low sevens, unless the car is just really fast by then. But that's going to do it all for this video, so we'll see you next week.